5 Underrated Travel Destinations in 2024. Travel is one of life's greatest and most exciting joys, but sometimes it can seem like the same countries get all the glory. While there's good reason that people flock to countries like Spain, France, and Italy, and tropical, far-flung destinations like Thailand and the Caribbean, there are many under-the-radar countries that have just as much to offer. The beauty of visiting these countries instead of the usual tourist hotspots isn't just that you'll save money. Away from the throngs of tourists and mass commercialization, you'll probably be able to enjoy a far more immersive and authentic travel experience, too, and perhaps see a side of the world you didn't even know existed. You don't have to jet off to the farthest corners of the globe to discover destinations that are more off the beaten track either, as some countries are just a few hours away. So, to get you inspired, and blazing your own travel trail, make sure hit subscribe button for more videos. Here are 5 of the most underrated travel destinations in 2024. Number 5. Albania. Albania, on southeastern Europe's Balkan Peninsula, is a small country with Adriatic and Ionian coastlines and an interior crossed by the Albanian Alps. The country has many castles and archaeological sites. Capital Tirana centers on sprawling Skanderbeg Square, site of the National History Museum, with exhibits spanning antiquity to post-communism, and frescoed Ethem Bey Mosque. For years Albania remained relatively undiscovered, while its neighbor Greece hogged all the limelight, but this overlooked jewel of the Mediterranean is beginning to carve out a name for itself. The pristine sandy beaches here are mostly uncrowded by tourists, and the dramatic mountains and scenic valleys are home to pretty Ottoman towns, fascinating Roman ruins, and alluring azure lakes. This beautiful Balkan nation is wonderfully unique. While the Greek, Italian, and Turkish influences are obvious, Albania's language, customs, and cuisine are entirely distinct. The capital, Tirana, buzzes with life, and the Ionian coastline rivals that of Croatia and Greece. Hospitable locals greet tourists warmly, unwearied by mass tourism, but it won't be long before the crowds hit, so now's the time to visit. Number 4. Laos. Easily one of the most underrated countries in Southeast Asia, Laos is often overlooked in favor of its neighbors, Thailand, Vietnam, and Cambodia. But thanks to the lack of mass tourism here, you get more bang for your buck, and with emerald rice fields, ancient forests, Buddhist temples, cascading waterfalls, and French colonial architecture, there's just as much beauty to be found too. Like neighboring Cambodia, Laos has a painful past, the result of being caught between 2 wars, but its future is bright, and the locals incredibly welcoming. From the forest-clad peaks of the north to the open plains and plateaus of the south, Laos is also strikingly diverse. Capital Vientiane may lack the buzz of Bangkok or Ho Chi Minh City, but it's a great place to adjust to the slower pace of Lao life. Number 3. South Korea. South Korea, an East Asian nation on the southern half of the Korean peninsula, shares one of the world's most heavily militarized borders with North Korea. It's equally known for its green, hilly countryside dotted with cherry trees and centuries-old Buddhist temples, plus its coastal fishing villages, subtropical islands, and high-tech cities such as Seoul, the capital. Its big, beautiful neighbor Japan might sweep up most of the crowds, but South Korea has just as much to offer. With a history that can be traced back 700,000 years, this is a land where the modern and ancient worlds coexist. Futuristic skyscrapers and historic temples sit side by side, and slick malls and buzzing karaoke bars are just a short stroll from old alleyways and historic street markets. Neon-lit Seoul pulses with energy, while coastal Busan has some of South Korea's best cuisine, as well as gorgeous mountains and beaches. History buffs will love exploring ancient Gyeongju, which was once the 4th largest city in the world, while Seoraksan National Park has the best hiking trails in the country. An idyllic Bozong is the green tea capital of Korea and the perfect place to kick back and relax. Number 2. Montenegro. Montenegro is a Balkan country with rugged mountains, medieval villages and a narrow strip of beaches along its Adriatic coastline. The Bay of Kotor, resembling a fjord, is dotted with coastal churches and fortified towns such as Kotor and Herceg Novi. Dermitor National Park, home to bears and wolves, encompasses limestone peaks, glacial lakes and 300 m deep Tara River Canyon. Montenegro may be a new country, it gained independence in 2006, but it's fast becoming known as one of Europe's most up-and-coming destinations. Having said that, it remains criminally underrated, getting only a fraction of visitors compared to its neighbor Croatia. While it's small, Montenegro is surprisingly diverse and boasts glacial lakes, fjords, rugged mountains, and dense forests. Its coastline is also incredibly picturesque, with crystal clear waters and buzzy beach towns. But you don't need to visit the beach to hit the water, as, in the mountains, there are blissfully blue lakes that are perfect for swimming. Hikers will want to head to Durmitor and Prokoltij national parks, where stunning trails wind past hulking mountains, and brown bears, wolves, and lynxes roam in the woods. Number 1. Bhutan. Bhutan is a Buddhist kingdom on the Himalayas' eastern edge, is known for its monasteries, fortresses, or throngs, and dramatic landscapes that range from subtropical plains to steep mountains and valleys. In the high Himalayas, peaks such as 326m Jomalhari are popular trekking destinations. Paro Taksang Monastery, also known as Tiger's Nest, clings to cliffs above the forested Paro Valley. Bhutan is like nowhere else in the world. Shut off to tourists until 1974, half a century later the last great Himalayan kingdom is still shrouded in mystery. One reason for this is the country's tourist tariff, which sees visitors paying $200 per day. However, this includes all accommodation, transport, food, and a guide, so it's actually pretty reasonable, and there are convincing reasons for it too. The tariff stops Bhutan from being overrun, allowing it to protect its timeless traditions, breathtaking landscape, and rare wildlife, including the enigmatic snow leopard. The villages here are home to ancient monasteries, golden-roofed temples, red-robed monks, and valleys that echo with tinkling yak bells. A carbon-negative country, Bhutan is as close to a Shangri-La as you can find in our developed world. These are 5 most underrated travel destinations in 2024. Kindly hit subscribe button for more videos.